Why fighting is still legal in hockey when other sports ban it. Good day, hockey fans, and welcome back to Across the NHL. Today we are diving into one of the most controversial aspects of our beloved sport: fighting. While every other major professional league treats fighting as an immediate ejection, the NHL hands out a 5-minute penalty and lets players return to the ice. So why does hockey allow what other sports consider absolutely unacceptable? The answer is far more complex than you might think. Let me paint a picture for you. It is a Tuesday night in Boston and the Bruins are hosting the Toronto Maple Leafs. The tension has been building all game. Then it happens: a questionable hit on a star player. Within seconds, the gloves are off and two enforcers are exchanging blows at center ice. The crowd roars. The benches stand. And millions watching at home are glued to their screens. This is hockey, and this moment, controversial as it may be, is woven into the very fabric of the sport. Now, before we continue, please do not forget to hit that subscribe button and smash the like button. It helps us bring you the best hockey content, and it ensures you never miss out on the stories that matter most in the NHL. Trust me, you will want to stick around for what is coming next on this channel. Fighting in hockey is not some modern invention or marketing gimmick. It has been part of the game since the very beginning. When you look back at the early days of professional hockey in the 1920s, the sport was rugged, physical, and often brutal. There were fewer rules, less protective equipment, and a culture that valued toughness above almost everything else. Fighting became a way for players to police the game themselves, to protect teammates, and to send messages that the referees could not. But here's where it gets interesting. The NHL is the only major professional sports league in North America that explicitly allows fighting to continue. The National Basketball Association will suspend you. The National Football League will eject you and likely fine you thousands of dollars. Major League Baseball treats brawls as serious violations of conduct. Yet in hockey you get 5 minutes in the penalty box and then you are right back out there. Why? The answer lies in something called the code. This unwritten set of rules governs when, how, and why fights happen on the ice. It is not anarchy. It is not random violence. There is a structure, a purpose, and, believe it or not, a strange sense of honor to it all. When a player takes a cheap shot at a star, an enforcer steps in to make sure there are consequences. When emotions are running too hot and the game is getting dangerous, sometimes a fight can actually cool things down by releasing that tension. It sounds contradictory, but anyone who has played or watched hockey at a high level understands this dynamic. The role of the enforcer has evolved dramatically over the decades. In the 1970s and 1980s, teams had designated tough guys whose primary job was to fight. Players like Bob Probert, Ty Domi, and Dave Schultz became legends not for their scoring ability, but for their willingness to drop the gloves and protect their teammates. These were not goons. They were respected players who understood their role and executed it with a particular kind of skill. However, the modern game has changed significantly. The NHL has become faster, more skilled, and far more focused on speed and finesse. The days of carrying a player whose only job is to fight are largely over. Today's tough guys need to contribute in other ways. They need to skate, they need to play defense, and they need to fit into the system. Fighting still happens, but it is less frequent and more purposeful than ever before. So why does the league continue to allow it? The NHL has conducted extensive research and consulted with players, and the conclusion has been consistent. Fighting serves a purpose. It acts as a deterrent against dangerous play. When players know there will be physical consequences for taking liberties, they think twice before making reckless hits. In a sport played at tremendous speeds on a surface as hard as ice, this self-policing mechanism has real value. The data tells an interesting story. Since the NHL began cracking down on headshots and dangerous hits in the early 2010s, fighting has actually decreased. During the 2008 to 2009 season, there were over 700 fights. By the 2022 to 2023 season, that number had dropped below 300. The game is evolving, but fighting remains part of it because players themselves want it there. Every time the NHL Players Association surveys its members, the overwhelming majority vote to keep fighting in the game. Critics argue that fighting promotes violence and sends the wrong message to young players. They point to the tragic cases of enforcers who have struggled with mental health issues and the long-term effects of repeated head trauma. These are legitimate concerns that cannot be dismissed. The league has responded by implementing stricter rules around player safety, improving concussion protocols, and reducing the frequency of fights through rule changes and cultural shifts. Thanks for watching Across the NHL. What do you think about fighting in hockey? Let us know in the comments below, and we will see you in the next one.